Hi everyone, this month's challenge is about reactions, and when we're talking about reactions with glass, it's either something that we've put onto the glass and then possibly encased, or a combination of colours that work and react together to produce different reactions on the surface of the glass. So I've pulled a few things out that I'm probably going to be working with this month. So first off, I've got a box of bicarbonate of soda. Baking soda generally works just as well, but I found the baking soda here doesn't seem to have the strength that I was used to in the UK, so I've gone back to bicarbonate of soda, and that I've pulled out. You can use it to make bubbles inside and encase bubbles within the glass, or you can use it to create ancient looking beads as if they've been dug out of the ground. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing for you this time. I've also pulled out some silver. So I've got a silver leaf, and this one says silver leaf, but it's much finer. This is a heavier duty silver leaf. So I'm probably going to use this one, but we'll see how we go as the videos progress. And I've pulled out some copper. So I can give you a word of warning on this one. So this is the normal copper leaf that I used, and this one was gifted to me, but it's labelled as pure gold. And I knew the instant that I put it on to a bead that it wasn't gold. I could see the reaction was exactly as it was with copper. It's slightly heavier than this, so I don't know if you can see I've cut it into little strips and I use it like that on the beads. But just beware, if it's labelled gold, make sure you're using a good supplier, because this was definitely not gold, this copper. Another thing that I've got here is this is an 0.4 copper wire, and it's bare copper wire. You don't want the coated coppers for using on beads. You can go thinner. If you've got a thinner copper wire, use that. I probably wouldn't go any thicker than 0.4. And then the last thing that I've got for prepared is a little bit of frit. This one is called Marrakesh Jewels from Glitter & Prize, but any frit will work absolutely fine. I prefer a chunkier frit than the finer frits when I'm looking for reactions on the surface of the bead. So that's where we are with that. The other thing that I probably should mention at the minute, I'm really struggling with brain fog. So if I just phase out and forget words, you'll just have to excuse me. And I'll be ready to start shortly. The first topic that I'm going to look at is using what we would call bicarbonated soda. So probably the other side of the pond, it's called baking soda. This is the one that I've got. So it's a big huge box, cheaper as chips, and I've put a little bit into a frit tray. So I need to pull a couple of stringers, and I normally work from the middle of the rod when I want a thickish stringer. So I thought I'd show you that first, because I've already pulled some stringers. And people ask, why would you pull it from the middle of the rod? Because I get a thicker stringer that's even, and I needed the rod at half the size of this one anyway. These are big 50 centimetre long rods. It's too big to handle for normal everyday wear. So I'm heating the rod around the centre just to get this soft enough that I can pull it, and pull it evenly. So keep turning it. You don't want to concentrate your heat too much in one place, and take it a little bit slow. You don't want it cracking either. You can see it's starting to melt now. This is quite a thin rod, but as I said, they are really long, so it's easier to show you with this than cut it in half and then show you on a different one. this I'm pushing both pieces together. And I don't need a white stringer this time. I'm going to be using a red and a cobalt, but this was the quickest way to show you since I had a full rod on my desk. There you go. Leave it for a few seconds. And pull it really slowly because I want this one to be quite thick. I like thick stringers for dots for flower petals. There we go. Melt off the one end and snap the other. There we go. Now I've got my rod ready to use. So I'm going to start kind of end of the mandrel with this one by making a barrel bead. And then I'm going to add a couple of stringers around the edges, and then you see the reactions when we put the bicarbonate on the bead. You can use different colour combinations for this, but what I found works really well for these ancient looking beads is a white base with a red and a cobalt stringer, or again with a white base, periwinkle and turquoise looks really pretty. I've tried it with other colour bases, just a few, and I still prefer the white, so if you want to experiment and try different colours, fab. When you are adding things to the bead, very often you're going to be superheating the glass to get the reactions to develop, so you need to pay quite careful attention to the ends of your beads, because you don't want to spend quite a long time working on a bead and on a particular design and then lose it all right at the end with sharp edges. You'll have to forgive me at the minute, I'm really struggling right now with brain fog. So I keep losing my words, so if that happens, you just have to bear with me. So I've literally made a little barrel, and I want to add a couple of stringers, and I've picked up probably about 1mm stringer in red at the minute. And you can add whatever decoration you like. You don't need to do the decoration the way I'm doing it, you just have fun and play. And most of the ancient beads have got like wraps of stringer and dots and this. It's quite basic design, so it's fun to just, you know, try a different combination of those. And I picked up a cobalt now, slightly thicker, maybe 1.5mm. Tidy these up a little bit, you don't need to be too fussy with these. And then, actually I will use that white one because I'll use it to twist. So let's just melt those in a little bit. You don't want them to spread out too much, which is why I'm pushing them onto the glass gently. And you can see, I hope, that I'm just heating the surface of the bead, and I'm doing everything that I can at this point in time to keep the base bead a good shape. The better that you can keep the shape at this point, the less work you'll have to do at the end to tidy it all up. literally got 3 stripes, a cobalt one on the middle and a red either side, and I think I might just add a couple of white dots to the cobalt. And as I said, you can play, you can twist, you can do whatever you like. These are just fun. I've made a load of demo beads that I've taken a photograph of, so I'll upload those when the videos go up, just so you can see some of the patterns that you can make. Nearly there, so just dots around the middle. I'll move this up here so you can see it, and I'm literally just going to heat the surface of this again. And again, try and keep your base beads cool, but heating the surface. And you don't want too much of this. You'll probably think that it's not actually working in the beginning. I don't know if you can see how much is on there. Back to what I said, you might think that it's not working. But once they come out of the kiln, you'll see the reaction more. Can you see it sparking a little bit? It's fine. It's bicarbonate of soda. This is food quality. There's nothing in it that's going to do any harm to you. Let's move that back out of the way. And you can watch the surface bubble away, and it creates old craters as if the bead has just been dug up out of the ground. Fabulous reaction. There we go. If you do accidentally overheat your beads, keep correcting your ends as you go along. It will save you so much work. If you find that your ends have gone really pointy, then it's probably worth adding a little spacer bead really close either end and melting it all in together so you can reshape your bead. It'll end up longer, so you have a pendant instead of an ordinary size bead. Absolutely fine. There you go. And this is coming along lovely now. You probably won't see it until it comes out of the kiln, but I'll try and show you the pitting coming on the surface. There we go.